Heyo everyone, welcome. I've been catching up on some of the promotional material that's been released recently for Wild, such as the developer streams and other stuff like that. And to my mild surprise, we're actually getting some old favorites apparently, with them just having released some details about the two new monsters they're adding, which is Congalala and Yain Kut-Ku, which is kind of surprising because I thought they were going to keep on revealing some new stuff or big elder dragons or something a little bit meaty to, really get some stuff out there. But to my surprise, again, they're releasing two relatively semi-early game monsters, and I'm not complaining, I'm very excited. But yeah, it's very interesting, and we'll just kind of go into both of them a little bit and some details and ideas I want to discuss a little bit after that. So let's kind of just get right into it. For Congalala, he looks wonderful, first off, because in the older games he looked a little bit, I won't say plastic-like, but very rigid, because of course they couldn't really do the fur physics, so it's like the fur on the top of his head, like the spike, and just the fur overall made him look very blocky almost. And not in a good way where he's like big, beefy, he's more like, he looks like a brick, where it's like the fur doesn't really look right, but of course it's older graphics and very basic graphics, so yeah, it isn't a surprise that had a little bit of an issue in my opinion. But now with all the fur physics, he looks floofy as hell. He is very fluffy, and he is just as interesting as ever. Because apparently he not only has his gimmick about eating different mushrooms to gain effects, such as, he has stench, fire damage, I'm guaranteeing he has poison, and all that stuff. He also has his little minions with him as well. I believe they're called the Congas, I think. And yeah, they're apparently real beefy guys too, because they're chunky, they're decently large, so they're like, compared to like the Jaggies and all that stuff of the world, they're way chunkier overall for like minion monsters, so that's nice. We're having a somewhat beefy minion along with a beefy monkey, so very excited over that. And apparently he's able to steal stuff from you as well, if I remember correctly from the live stream, but I'm not exactly sure because I wasn't exactly sure, but it was interesting if that's true, because stealing stuff is, not that it's kind of an uncommon thing, so having it happen is nice. But yeah, it's very interesting that they just popped him down right away. I'm not complaining again. It's also very nice that we also have him as kind of like a break from the bird wyvern stuff, like the great jaggy, baggy, roggy, and all that stuff. It's great we have a little bit of a break from that. Also just like the great jaguars and all that stuff. Like, we're moving away a little bit from just wizard-based monsters that have minions as like the early game, because now we're back into Bwinganga stuff, or not Bwinganga, Congalala stuff. I get those names mixed up a little bit because like sound close enough I get mixed up. But Congalala stuff is quite nice because it's a little bit different. It's not like a bird wyvern, it's an ape, a very angry ape. So it's quite nice we got something a little bit different. I'm very excited. I believe he's gonna be fun to fight because it looks like he has all the same moves as he did in older games, but of course refined a little bit because he has that gimmick where he gets different elements and all that stuff. He also has just general lunges and all that other stuff, so he seems like pretty much very much a refined take on the fight from older games, which I'm very excited for because I never fought Congalala at all before, so I'm very, very excited to fight him in Wilds. And overall, he just, again, looks great. I really like the hippopotamus kind of mouth to him. And just the tail especially as well is quite nice. I've never been the greatest fan of Bishaten in Rise, but his tail idea is very nice. And of course, Blood Orange Bishaten, the funny monkey with the funny hand grenade, is funny. But I feel like this could be really fun too. Just not so much of a focus on the tail, but it's still an element that matters. I think that's a lot more fun overall for like a balanced fight, because I think Bishaten's fine, but I think I mostly just soured a little bit on the Blood Orange Bishaten, because like the first time I went through him, he was a monster, because yeah, monkey with a hand grenade's terrifying. But yeah, overall very excited, very happy, and And again, I really do like the hair physics, so it looks wonderful. Makes him look actually ape-like and really, really nice. And just very, very excited overall for him. And moving on to the second recent addition, we have Yain Kut-Ku. Another classic-ish creature from the older games. And yeah, he's a big bird. He's a big bird. And I'm really excited to fight him as well, because, you know, it's a basic fire monster, very simple. And apparently they group together in this game, which is quite interesting, and I'm not complaining. Little nesting areas, not that bad of an idea. And they look wonderful. They really did great with the little bit extra polish from the better graphics, and they look really nice. They're a little bit bigger than I expected, to be fair, but, you know, young Garuga is, like, supposed to be roughly the same size, give or take. And he's chunky, so I guess it makes sense. And it's just nice to have, like, an early fire monster. It's nice. Like, of course, I prefer, like, more, like, you know, water, ice, and other stuff as more early game as well, but, you know, fire isn't that bad. It's a good early game weapon type, and all that. And I really do like the beak, because, like, you know, the infamous just beak swam attack where he just tries to pummel you with a beak is really fun, so very excited for that. But, you know, this basically just a smaller version of, I guess, a Rathian almost, or a Rathalos, besides the lack of poison, you know, fire, basic, you know, melee attacks, flying. He's basically just a rudimentary start to, like, the whole wyvern stuff, which is neat. You know, it's nice to have a starter monster that really heavily resembles some of the stuff you'll fight later on, which would be quite nice, because especially given the new fighting system they'll probably have in the wilds, it'll probably be best for me to probably do one or two of these guys to actually get used to the system before I try and fight Rathian or Rathalos or any other wyverns in the game. So very, very happy over that. Overall, there isn't really much else to really discuss personally. Like, he's there, he's added, I'm happy, but unfortunately, he's not as complicated as Congalala, because Congalala has his little guys, he has the ailment changing and all that stuff, and unfortunately, Yain Kut-Ku is like beak and fireball, and that's pretty much it. So, and he also has the ears too, which are nice, but besides that, he isn't that, I wouldn't say deep, but he isn't like that robust of a monster, because he's basically, again, just a smaller version of like Rathalos or Rathian, but without poison, since, you know, he doesn't have any poison talons or anything, so he's just fireballs and body checks and beak swams, which is fine. But again, I was very happy to have him, very excited, and it's always nice to see older monsters get a little touch-up, because I know, like, Yain Kut-Ku hasn't been in the series for a bit, and it's nice to have him get a good touch-up and make him look nice and HD and looks wonderful. Alright, now that we've gone over the two little additions, let's actually talk about some of the details I've been kind of thinking about since I saw that they were adding Congalala and Kut-Ku to the game. I've been kind of thinking, like, could this possibly mean we could get Garuga, or possibly get Wanganga, possibly? I have a few reasons for that. Like, there's like a reason or two for and a reason or two against. The reasons for is that they're not that different body type wise. They are relatively similar. You know, Garuga and Yain Kut-Ku are very similar. Besides, like, the poison tail for Garuga, I believe it's poisonous if I remember correctly. He is basically the same monster, except a lot more aggressive and all that stuff, and a few other additions, but the rough body skeleton is pretty much the same. And it's not so much for Boinganga and Congalala, but it's close enough where you can kind of see it, possibly. So it's very possible, just for the sake of easier development time, that they just push him into the game, either base game or the DLC probably, if they do have one, which I'm pretty sure they will, because that's how usually they've been going so far recently. But the problem is that the reason against is probably a lot more effective as a reason that they're not going to do it, is because Garuga was in World, but Kut-Ku wasn't, and, you know, Basarios, you know, the baby form of Gravios was in Rise, but Gravios wasn't. So it's like, isn't a guarantee at all, even with a similar monster or weighted monster that's very weighted. And it's very possible that they just decide it's not really worth it, because, like, if you don't need a ice monkey early game fight, you know, why add Wanganga at all? So it's like, that's kind of the main issue too. And if they don't have like a later game fight with a wyvern, you know, that's similar to Kut-Ku, then why add Garuga if you have, new stuff? Because I know they're probably adding quite a few new monsters to this game that they haven't revealed yet. They're probably just holding back. So it's very possible that either just what they chosen for early game and that's it. So it's a possible idea they may actually add the counterparts to these two monsters, possibly. Especially since they went for all the work of adding the Blangos. I don't know, Blangos. Congas. But they could easily add like the Blangos as like a monster as well. Because I'm pretty sure we haven't seen any ice area yet. So very possible that they will add them, possibly. But that's again speculation and based purely on like some information, but there's other information that contradicts that idea, and I trust that a little bit more. So again, speculation, but if not, then oh well. But if it is, then happy surprise. So, it's kind of just an idea I've been chewing on a little bit while I've been like ruminating on the news and all that stuff. But either way, I'll be excited. I'm excited to fight both of them because it's nice that two older monsters got a little bit of a touch up, and I'm just really excited overall. But yeah, that's pretty much all we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to try and do some of these more smaller videos for a bit until I can get another major video out, because I'm actually working on another, thankfully not 4-hour, but 1-hour video currently right now. So I'm going to be trying to get some of these smaller videos out when I can, to try and just do something on the side instead of just sit on one giant video for like a month or so. So yeah, I'll be keep on trying to get some of these videos out, and I hope everyone enjoyed the video and all that stuff, and I hope you all keep enjoying them. So I do appreciate everyone stopping by. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. There's, subscribe, like, and all that stuff, and comment if you so desire. Dislike if you don't. Discord and Twitch are available if you want to go there. But as long as you enjoyed the video, that's kind of the main thing. But besides that, hope everyone enjoyed. See y'all guys next time, where I may be. Good night, everyone. Ciao.